Hi, this is Tom from World Class Coaching with this week's animated drill. This is a shooting pattern that I really like. I've never seen anybody else do this, and I don't think you could say that it's completely functional, but I really like the pattern because it forces the players to think. I like it when I find a pattern that they have trouble with and that they can't quite get right away because I know I'm making them think and I'm making them react. And I really like shooting activities that involve doing one thing and then doing another and reacting and moving based on the pattern. So here's how this works. It's set up, I like to do it with the cones 10 yards apart. And then I'd have a line of players here and a line of players here as well. So your extras would be here and there. And then you have two basically L's, thus the name. And so what we have is we have one side go and then the other side goes. So this is just one at a time. That way the keeper's not completely overwhelmed. And then we're going to shoot from this middle area, so we don't want that too crowded. So it begins with a pass by the first player into the center. So then after passing the ball there into the center, then that player would then, I'll just move that player over here. Then that player moves into the middle. And I talk to the players about creating angles because we don't want to just slide this way and we don't want to go toward the ball. We want to create an angle in the middle because then we're going to receive the ball from the second player again. So the original passer is going to receive the ball back after creating that angle and then pass into that third player on the outside here. Now, while that's happening, so after this player makes the pass, then we have, I'll just draw this freehand, we'll have this player make a run overlapping around that player and showing into the middle. Because then when this third player receives the ball, they're going to pass the ball backward toward the overlapping player. Now, for me, I always make a big deal out of this because it's important to me that the ball is set back here, not laid flat there. I guess you can make the argument that either one is fine. I like it to be set back because I talk to the players about, what if this forward had a player on their back and they needed to lay the ball off? If they laid the ball into that space on the outside, then it would be easy for the defender to step across. When they lay the ball back to the player here, now they've got the opportunity to take a touch, and we'll show that as dribbling. They'll take a touch into the middle and then have their shot from the middle. So this isn't a one-touch shot from here. This is a touch or two out of their feet to then have their shot. And I'll just duplicate that line to create the shot. So this shot is coming from somewhere outside the penalty area. Now, depending on the age group you're working with, this might be 18 yards from goal. This might be 14 yards from goal. It might be 10 yards from goal, depending on the size of the penalty area. I don't do this shooting pattern with teams below about U12 because it just confuses them too much. They don't understand the movements, and so it's just more difficult. We spend more time teaching the activity than we do working on the concepts. So I do this generally with teams U12 and above. So those are the basic ideas. We repeat this pattern, and then everybody moves forward one spot. The shooter then has to come back and take this role, whereas the player that laid the ball off, they get a ball out of the goal or from out of bounds and then rejoin this side over here because obviously players on this side are taking shots with their right foot. Players on this side, if they're doing it correctly and the balls are being played at the correct angles, they're going to be taking a shot with the left foot. So it's a simple, quote unquote, simple pattern. But when the players get in here, the mistakes you'll see this player not create this angle. So that'll be the first mistake that you'll see that you'll have to correct and make sure. In the past, I've put a cone or a flat dot on that spot just to show them where they need to check. But ideally, you want the players understanding that they need to create an angle between these two players because they need to receive the ball there, pass the ball there. So that's the first challenge that you'll have. The second challenge you'll have is this player will lay a nice pass back to the player who's checked in the middle, and then this player won't go anywhere. They'll forget to make this run. So they'll forget their overlapping run. So you'll need to remind that player to make that overlapping run. The third challenge you'll have, as I said before, is that this pass will become flat. They'll just kind of flick this pass off instead of really passing it back. to this player. If you're able to get all three of those situations solved, then this can really fly. This is something that you can do very quickly, get a lot of repetitions. There's passing, there's movement, there's timing, there's angles of passing, there's everything you want in here, and then culminating in a shot at the end. Now, I say ultimately it's not functional just because these kind of movements around the top of the penalty area may be a little unusual. But, I mean, if you think about a player from a wide position making a run into the middle, to receive a ball and shoot from that area, that's not totally out of the realm of possibility. It's just, this overlapping run is a bit different, coming back up the field and then running in. But again, I like the pattern because it forces the players to really concentrate and think. So while they're waiting for this group to go, they need to be thinking about their next action. After they pass this ball, where are they going to go? After they make that lay off into the space diagonally, that they're going to make their overlapping run. They need to make sure that they're trying to make that pass backward to the player. And ideally, all of these passes are being made in front of the player so that that player is able to one-touch it with their left foot. The ball is being played here, and this player is able to one-touch it with their left foot. Likewise, this player here is able to one-touch it with their right foot because the ball was played in front of them. And then all of those passes are reversed on this side. If you're able to get to that level, then your team's basically gone through all of the possible coaching points that I've used in the past for this activity. If they've got the movement right, they've got the timing right, they've got the passes correct in front of their teammates so that they're able to use the correct foot and make it go very quickly, then you've accomplished a high level in this activity. So I'd love to hear other possible combinations that you would do out of a setup like this, because frankly, I haven't found any. I haven't found any that I thought really worked well. I mean, you could always make a direct pass into this player and have this player overlapping directly, making that run, more of a direct run in here and then overlapping. But there's less movement and less passing in that. So I haven't used that one in the past. But if you have one that I haven't thought of, I'd love to hear it. You can put that in the comment section below. So give this a try and let me know how it goes. Thanks a lot.